Okay, mates, here we have a retopologized model. This is Brian's. As you see, if I press Z and press wireframe, beautiful topology. This is the kind of thing that you find beautiful because you've seen it too much. But this video is about how to add motion direct characters. So of course, if you go into pose mode, in order to attach the character, you press the object, then you press shift and you click on the rig, and you press on autorigpro, you go into skin, and you use the kind of you have heat maps and voxelize, but heat maps is the default, and you press bind, and that way you have it bind. And of course then you can do the classic posing thing, like this is called inverse kinematics, right? If I move the hand that way, I can walk like an Egyptian. Or if I press shift escape and I press R for rotation, I get this gimbal, and now I can actually say hi, right? Good thing about inverse kinematics is that I can animate this through the whole arm through the arm, and I can put this in great positions, like, I don't know, a speaker head doesn't want to hear anything anymore. And a bunch of stuff. These are the clavicles, very useful for expressive purposes. This thing here is the sort of like for adjustments of the arm. Like this one here is for the elbow, so you can actually like pick where the elbow is pointing at, which is very useful. Same thing happens with some controllers here at the feet. This is where the knee is pointing, so if you want to do some Elvis things, it has to do with that. Here, and again, how did I get that thing where I can rotate stuff? That was shift, escape, and then rotation. Pretty good. So that's like the classic system, right? If we pick the character through the hip, we can do a lot of motion, actually even losing its head. We might need to adapt that other thing that got lost there, so that we do that in object mode. We choose this, we choose that, and again we skin, and we choose this, we choose that, and again we skin, and now everything is on the same control system, but you move it in pose mode, right? So I guess this is I guess I need to do that part again. But that's what that's more or less how it works. I should be able to, yeah, it's funny that the arm is there and the other thing isn't. Anyway, if you want to delete stuff, you can press A, that way you select all of the components of the rig, and then you press right click, and then you press clear user transforms, and then we're back into the command mode. Now, how do you add another object? How do you animate it through motion capture? I will go into File, Import, and I'll import an FBX file. We have some files on the asset folder of the class. There's this idle waiting file. Whenever you're importing, especially FBX files, expand armature and make sure you turn on automatic bone orientation, otherwise it will look kind of weird for a skeleton. Okay, so you press import FBX, and now we have a skeleton, and I'm going to move it on the x-axis so that it was G and X, and I have this skeleton, and I will transfer the motion from this to this. So for that, autorigpro has this option called, it's not called MISC, but it's on the miscellaneous tab there, which is called remap. So I'm going to choose this one, source armature. I'm going to choose this one, target armature. In this case, well, I will auto scale just to make sure that the scale is sort of okay. I will build a bone list, Why do I build a bone list? Because different programs have armatures where they name the same bones with different names. So you have to build a bone list, because in the source motion capture file, head is called head, and in our target it's called c_head.x. Likely the software does it for us. And you have to check that one bone is root, which in general is the hip. So you press the hip and you press set as root, and then you do retarget. So this is a 1000 frame animation. It will take a while because retargeting is tedious. You can always imagine how it would be if you did it by hand. I assure you it would take you far longer. Good, so now it worked. There are some parts of this mesh that I don't know why they're not rigged, but this is a short test. But now if I go back to my animation and go to the first frame, I can see that I will turn on this part so I can see everything, but I can see that it has some idle animation. It actually ends in 2077, so I will but there you can see that the animation is actually rigged in place. Isn't that wonderful? Ideally you want to rig something that's not just idle, but it's a good starting point. And yeah, sort of that's how you remap assets. It doesn't matter the size of the parts. That's actually one of the cool things. In this case it's kind of similar, but if you had a character that had very long arms, you could match a normal humanoid animation with a character with big arms. And then you can just use the animation and turn layers on. And if you want to make some adjustments, add a layer. And for instance, stuff like this arm that is sort of like nowhere, you can just turn on this. And just start putting it in place so that it's actually at least sort of touching the figure. Now that will be the new offset. Same thing happened with these guys. I can move these ones, and then make them really sad and soppy. Kind of like shrugging. You might wonder, like, how am I mixing the thing? This is an add-on that is on the shared file folder. It's called animation layers. But now if I turn this off, I can do shrugs. I'm not sure if there's anything more expressive than a shrug. But this is it. As you can see, it's actually simple once you have a correct rig, that kind of thing, that detail there. You see that that part, you might want to fix it if you have time. And that one, of course, if it's, touching the hip. You might want to fix that too. So good, thank you. And I hope this helps. Animation layer is a really good add-on. You can change the influence of stuff. And it's simple, it's just animation layers. And I hope this helps. Next video is about the facial expressions, which actually you can combine. It's just kind of hilarious.